Day number 11 of the Diddy trial. And they said the courtroom hit a whole new level, y'all. I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z Hyperbolic Chamberish. I got the whole report for y'all like always. But before we get into it, make sure you like and share this video. And also down below in the comments, let me know how y'all scoring this. Is Diddy free right now or he cooked? Let me know. So the day starts off with the government calling the LAPD officer named Christopher to the stand. They bring in a jury. Jury may enter. They made old boy swear in. And AUSA asked him the simplest shit. What is a radio call? Now, I really don't think we need to get into what's a radio call, right? Everybody should know that. That's a dumbass question. But here's where it get wild, y'all. They said something happened on December 22nd, 2011. And I got it here for you. The officer Christopher said he was working his shift, and around 8 in the morning, he got a code 3. I need y'all federales to tell me what the code 3 is, because I don't know. He said he was in his whip, he cut on them sirens, woo, woo, woo. He said once he cut on them sirens, he was cutting up through traffic. He said he headed to a house in the Hollywood Hills. They asked him, what did you find? He said, a black Escalade. He said he memorized the license plates because something felt off. He said when he pulled up on the scene and seen the Escalade, skirt, he said the Escalade pulled off. He said at that point, technically, there was no crime being made. He said, but when he went to the home, the door was open, so he allowed himself in. He said when he walked in the home, he saw high-end items. He saw purses, he saw watches. He said some of the junks were covered up, some of them wasn't. He said there was no sign of forced entry. No furniture moved around, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He said that's when 2 more detectives pulled up. He said they was inside, but then when they stepped outside, that same Escalade that was sitting outside when he first pulled up drove past. And they said shortly after that, Kid Cudi pulled up in his Porsche. He said now that the Escalade was being suspicious and he remembered their license plates, he said he put it in the system, ran that junk, and they came back to Bad Boy Records. And y'all know that's his shit. Then after that, there were no further questions from the prosecution. But wait, Diddy lawyer comes up. One of his lawyers named Brian Steele. He's doing a cross-examination. They said this man was poking holes left and right. Boop, boop, boop. Diddy lawyer asked him, this was 13 years ago, right? You read your partner's report, right? You didn't chase the car. Did you see the Porsche? Christopher was like, I don't know. And they said Diddy lawyer was like, do you know the definition of kidnapping? Prosecution quickly said, objection. The judge said, sustained. He said at this point it was a little back and forth. And then Diddy lawyer Brian Steele asked him, so why didn't you file for burglary? He was like, why wasn't it a theft? Did they see any security cameras? Did they search Kid Cudi's Porsche? And Christopher said, nope, they didn't do none of them things. He said all he remembered from that situation is Cudi seemed tense, but he wasn't hyperventilating or nothing like that. He wasn't acting out of the ordinary. So they said after that little debacle, they brung up one of LA top arsonist investigators. So they start asking him about the car fire that was at the same home they pulled up in the Hollywood Hill. Then he said what we already know, it was a Molotov cocktail that burned Kid Cudi's car. So they said somebody cut the roof from the top and then threw the Molotov in that bit. Y'all, and they left the lighter on the ground. And they said the bottle they used to do it was a old English malt liquor bottle. Then they started talking about the DNA. But they said the DNA matched a female, y'all. That's when the defense said objection to all the DNA stuff. And the judge said, sustained. Said after that, things get tensed. AUSA asked, what happened to the fingerprint cards? And the investigator, the arson investigator said, that shit was destroyed in 2012 by a LAPD officer. That's when the defense got heated, y'all. They started calling for a mistrial. They said that shit looked like a cover-up or a misconduct. The judge said he'll strike any testimony about the destruction. He looked at the jurors and was like, ignore it, y'all. Just ignore that situation. Defense was still adamant. They was like, nah, judge, we want a mistrial. I think we deserve a mistrial. The judge was like, no, you're not getting it. He looks over to the jurors and was like I said, just forget about the fingerprint DNA shit. So that's pretty much it with that investigator. And then somebody named Dante Nash steps up. He was a celebrity stylist. He said he worked with Diddy and Cassie back in 08, and he got the job from Craigslist, y'all. So they started asking him about Diddy and Cassie relationship, and they said things got dark. Nash said Diddy used to call Cassie everything in the book from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and y'all know the rest. Nothing was off the table. And he started saying what other people would say that Diddy said to Cassie, like threatened that he will beat the out of her, that he'll leak her shit. And he said this was happening on a weekly basis. He said, and when this whole shit was happening, Cassie would be emotional. Obviously, he said, and then she'll go hiding for days. He said Diddy ran everything. He ran that girl. He said she couldn't do shit without Diddy say so. But I thought she just hid for days. But anyway, he said one time he told her, you better not leave without my permission. He said he recalled one time after a party, Diddy made Cassie go pack some bags and was like, you coming to my house. And he said Cassie was scared as fuck. Nash described the time where Puffy came to the house and they were getting ready for the OVO Fest. And he said he seen Diddy dragging Cassie by her hair, y'all. And he was punching and kicking her. So unlike everybody else that seen this shit going on, Nash said he tried to help. He said, but Puffy threw him all, get off of me, Nook. He said after that, when they seen him trying to help another person named Mia try to help too. They said, and then that's when Cassie's head hit the base of the bed, like, bow. He said he seen red, she was leaking. He said when that happened, Puffy looked at everybody and blamed them like, look what y'all made me do, it's y'all fault. He said later on that day, he seen Cassie and she had a gash over her eyebrow. Y'all seen them pics too. AUSA asked, did this happen often? He said, yeah, quite often this happened. Nash also said Diddy would threaten to send Cassie sex tapes to her mom's job to get her fired. It started getting a little weird, y'all. So Nash talked about a time Puffy came to his house looking for Cassie. He said this man was checking everywhere. He even checked the oven. Nash said then Diddy took his phone and then told the bad boy staff to go get Cassie. Nash said when he went to Cassie's hotel, she was so scared that she was talking about jumping off the balcony. He said, and Diddy and his staff was downstairs waiting for her like a movie. And that's pretty much it, y'all. They mostly talked about irrelevant shit after that and they wrapped it up shortly after. Every day it seemed like the case is getting crazier. Y'all drop y'all thoughts down below on how y'all felt about today. Y'all let me know, is this smoking guns or is this just smoke? Let me know.